What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Thursday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault at Sports Talk Matt on Twitter. To follow me at BettingPros, to follow BettingPros, the BetMGM offer, our title sponsor, always available above me on the YouTube video. If you don't know it by now, $10 bet, $150 in your account when you sign up for a new account with the promo code Juice150 at BetMGM. Okay, so we're on a roll here. Okay, so 9-3 heading into last night. We go 2-1. Technically, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the Astros game. Check your house rules, okay? Normally, when a game is played the following day, bets are voided, okay? So it depends on the book, depends on where you bet it, okay? The book that I use voids it, so we'll see what happens. So 2-1 continues the next day, depending upon what your book does for rainouts. But 5-1, we played the under 8. Still could get there, but fourth inning, we'll see. Chances are that game's going to go over. But so I'm just officially taking it as a 2-1. Call it a wash. Puck line gets there for Calgary. How about that? Puck line plus 120. So we get that right. The Memphis Grizzlies annihilated the Warriors. Plus 4.5 comes in. So a 2-1 day on the plus 120 bet as well. So a 2-1 mark. 11-4 over the last 4 days for the podcast, plus money on a bunch of stuff. So it's been a good run. 7 of 9 now. Winning days on the podcast for 7 of the last 9 days. So look, it doesn't always roll like this, but when we're winning and we're feeling good, this podcast is going to be pretty quick because the picks are pretty clear, pretty obvious, and not exactly a lot of analytical breakdown needed to get into what I'm going to do. I will tell you this, though. There is one betting strategy you can come up with for teams that are heading into game 6s. We've talked about this a lot, but if you think the team that is playing game 6 that's down, if they win game 6 to force a game 7, like for instance, Tampa Bay tonight, right? If you bet Tampa to win in game 6, which we're going to, you could also bet Tampa to win the series at plus 275. Now, we already have a full unit at even money committed to Tampa winning the series. So really important. If it's getting too rich for you and you're like, I don't really like doing that, I understand it. It's why I'm not making it an official play. However, if you were to add on to your position, so say you take a half a unit and you put a half a unit down for plus 275, plus 300, depending on what book you're looking at, but 3-1 essentially, right? So it's 1.5 you would win if Tampa comes back to win the series, plus the 1 that we have already committed. So you win 2.5. You could come back in game number 7 and you could go ahead and bet and cover that 1.5 liability and bet enough to have a 1.5 cover for game 7, minus 110, minus 120, whatever it might be. And you could sit back and have a no sweat. You could also bet a full unit if you want on plus 275. And you're either going to win 4 or then come back and you could win 2 and cover the 2 units you've got committed already to Tampa. So that's just where you go, all right? So just strategy-wise, you could do that literally with every game 6 in the playoffs and the NBA for that matter from here on out. So just keep that betting strategy in mind as you're going to approach these games. It's a little bit, convoluted and difficult to kind of do all of that across the board on every bet, but just take a look at your positions, where you are, how much money you've got committed, and you can go ahead and play off of it. And you already have that stake in the ground, if you will, for if you bet that with me, you've got Tampa on the even money for that. You can come back and add even more for Tampa game 6 tonight. So look, Vasilevsky in the playoffs after a loss is 16-0. All right. I don't need to overthink this all that much. However, I am going to do something I don't normally do. I want to win a full unit. So I'm going to commit more than what I normally would commit. The Tampa Bay Lightning are minus 125 at home tonight to force a game 7. Now, Toronto very well might win game 7, and we very well might lose the series bet and be down 1 unit. So this is a way of sort of hedging a little bit that I do think Tampa wins. I'm going to lay the minus 125. Tampa at home in this very situation came out flying. 3 goals in the first period. It was an overplay as well. I like the over in the game. But I'm going to lay 1.25 units at minus 125 to win 1 unit. Okay. So it's it's 125 minus 125. I'm going to commit the full 1.25 unit to bring back the 1 unit just to make sure that in case this Tampa game, the game 7, Toronto wins, we're okay. All right. I'm also going to, if we get to a game 7, I'm also going to bet Toronto. Okay. So just to kind of, I probably won't bet a full unit on it, but I may hedge a little bit on it because it's even money. I may come in with a half unit on Toronto to win. And then we'll be kind of okay, if you will, in terms of how we are in this series. We will have maximized our positions and would have won, a decent amount of money. So that's how I'm approaching this series. Tampa Bay, money line, minus 125 against Toronto tonight in game 6 to force a game 7 to win a full unit back for us here. Again, Vasilevsky 16-0 in the postseason. Tampa is unbelievable backs against the wall the last 2 years. They've had 3 elimination games. They've won them all, and they've gone on to win the cup in both seasons. So not saying they're going to win it all again. I just think they're forcing a game 7. I think their championship pedigree comes out tonight. Tampa, minus 125, full 1.25 units to win a unit coming back, which is a rarity. Normally I flat wager. Now I'm wagering with the juice. All right. Bet number 2. I mean, this is sort of, I think the St. Louis Blues are just the better team here. If you look at the way St. Louis has played the last 2 games, I don't hate this. If you want to come in here and take the puck line and you want to lay the 1.5, it's plus 215. In an elimination game, it's very possible the Blues win and cover on the puck line. I'm just not going to push my luck too much because I've got that Tampa game. And if they win by 1, I don't want to be sitting there sweating an open net and praying for an open net. But it's been 5-2, 5-2 the last 2 games for St. Louis, both at home and on the road. The Blues are at home here. Yes, they did lose game 3, 5-1 at home. I totally understand that. Okay, so we've seen that before. I just think the Blues are the better team, and I don't think they're going to force a game 7. I think St. Louis uses that home ice. They're 26-10-5 this year at home. Fleury hasn't looked great to me for the Wild. He's been, 10 goals in 2 games. It's not been good. Blues won game 1 4-0. Yeah, the Wild won 6-2 and 5-1. And maybe you say, let's play the over instead, Matt. That's a better play. But 6.5 elimination games. I don't know. I feel like this very well could be. I thought Calgary would win 4-1 last night. They won 3-1. I think the Blues win 4-1, 4-2, somewhere in that range. I don't, but I also don't trust the under. I'm not betting unders in the NHL. I just think it's an easier play. Blues on the money line. It's only minus 110, half a unit. St. Louis to win and knock out the Wild. I'll take the Blues to win at home tonight at minus 110 to win their series. And finally, half a unit play coming in here. It's pretty obvious. Phoenix and Dallas. Number is 212.5 at BetMGM right now at the time of taping. You've got a Dallas team with a 33-12-1 mark to the under. I mean, that is a ridiculous mark at home for the Dallas Mavericks. Phoenix is 24-22 to the under. This series has gone under 3 consecutive games here. Only the first 2 games of the series have gone over. Both games in Dallas have gone under. It's an elimination game. It's a grinder of a game. I just think that this is a huge opportunity to see a lot of bad basketball from the Dallas Mavericks and just hold on for dear life, grind it. I don't like what we've seen over the last couple of days, couple of games here. I think Phoenix does win this series. I don't think Dallas wins, but I'm more comfortable taking the under than laying it with the Phoenix Suns at -2 on the road. Not in love with a road favorite here in an elimination game. Dallas, though, at home, 29-12. They hit shots at home. They play hard at home. They play defense at home. I'm coming in under 212.5. Let's bet the streak. Maybe it's the last time we can do it with the Dallas Mavericks at home, the wagon that they have been for an under bet. Under 212.5 for Dallas against Phoenix tonight for a half a unit. All right. So we're doing well here. 11-4 over the last 4 days. Let's see if we can keep it going. Another winning day yesterday. It's been good. 4 straight winning days, and we've gone, again, like I mentioned, 7 of 9 winning days for the Juice. Been good. May's been good. Let's keep going. All right. Tampa, -125. Laying the 1 1/4 units to win a unit back on Tampa to win and force a game 7. we're going Blues, money line, -110, under 212.5, Phoenix and Dallas. Follow me on Twitter, @SportsTalkMatt. Every single morning, it's the Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.